Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our series, Setting the Right Targets for Cracking IIM. And today we will be discussing about some tips and strategies to crack the DILR section. And as we have, for those who have attended my previous lectures, we will be following the same pattern, which is first we will be discussing about the 2019 and 2019 CAT exam. Then we will be discussing about the last year's CAT exam, since it was a very different pattern. And then I will be giving you some tips and strategies about how I prepared myself and something that will help you to perform better in your CAT final exam. So I'll be sharing the screen now. Right. Uh, so coming to this section, it is one of my most favorite sections, and you can see as compared to the other two sections, this is the one where I have scored the highest percentile. So it was a section even in 2018. I'll give you an example how DILR has changed. In 2018, the CAT exam was very difficult, as I've already previously stated. And someone who attempted around 13 questions or 12 questions, so which is equal to 35 marks, 36 marks, scoring 30 plus marks, you were assured of a 90 percentile in 2018. But coming to 2019 CAT exam, there were total questions 100, and the non-MCQ in the total sections, all three sections combined, were 26. DILR has 32 questions generally, which is the pattern over the last few years. MCQs were 24 questions, and the non-MCQ questions were 28 questions. And the time allotted, similar to all the both the sections, was 60 minutes. So difficulty level, I would say that it was on the easier to moderate part, not from the moderate to difficult part. And the cutoff expected for a 99 percentiler was around 58 marks. And you can see that I scored 59.3 and I got a 99.66 percentile here. But for someone who's scoring 95, wants to score a good percentile and cut off all the sections for all top B schools, I think a 90 or 95 percentile is good. And for that, you just have to score 45 plus marks. So we have seen in all three sections combined that even if you are able to correctly attempt around 13 to 15 questions, you are short assured of scoring a 95 percentile in all three sections, right? Again, 45 marks is equal to 15 questions, and correctly doing those 15 questions. So that is also just 50% of the total questions attempted. Coming to the total marks, 150 out of 300. So this is again 50% of your total marks is equal to around 99 percentile. So this makes you think कि यार, should I attempt more questions? Should I go for let's say 80 or 90 questions to attempt, right? Here you need to understand that scoring 150 marks, which is doing just 50 questions out of the 100 questions, and that is what I also aimed. I tried to do around, I attempted around 68 to 70 questions. My accuracy was good, and I scored, my total score was around 151, 152 marks, 147 marks. So that brings my aggregate score to 98.2 percentile, and which helped me clear all the sectional cutoffs as well as overall cutoffs for at least all top B schools, right? Now coming to the division of DI and LR. So there were 16 questions from DI. So DI is basically data interpretation, where you will be getting charts, bar graphs, pie charts, line graphs, dotted graphs. And the level for that was moderate. And LR, which is logical reasoning, which is more of, let's say, sequential problems or arrangement problems, or let's say competition problems. So that is the logical reasoning part, where again there were 16 questions, and they were more or less on the easier side. And the good thing was that there were 8 questions with 4 parts each. So even if you are able to attempt just able to do or understand just 4 questions out of those, and if you are able to complete all 4 parts of those 4 questions, that brings your score to that brings you to doing 16 questions, right? Which is more than sufficient for anyone scoring 90 plus percentile. So if you guys have anything related to 2019 pattern, you may ask, or we will proceed to our CAT, which is the latest one, CAT 2020 DILR section. But I would generally say, yeah, this is something which is on the easier side. And someone who loves solving logical reasoning questions can do this in their pastime. At least not the difficult ones, but something to just increase your speed or just your thinking way. So that way you are able to at least analyze and think key how you have to do or solve a particular question, right? Now coming to CAT 2020 pattern. So as we all know, there were 76 questions, and out of those, there were 17 non-MCQ TETA questions. In DILR part specifically, there were 24 questions, out of which 18 were MCQ and 6 were non-MCQ questions. So the time allotted here was again 40 minutes, and the difficulty level last year as compared to previous year was a bit on the moderate to higher side, which was similar to what was in 2018 exam, right? But still the cutoff expected for someone to score 99 percentile is 40 plus marks, and someone who's expected to get a 90 percentile was 27 plus marks. So again, you can see that out of 24 questions, you just had to do correctly attempt and solve just 10 questions. So that is not even 50% right now. So someone who's just attempting 10 questions and is sure about, let's say I have attempted 11 questions and I'm clearly sure that these 11 are correct. And I'm not able to solve, let's say, the other 13 questions. So what I should do, that I should not panic. I should be if I am sure that I will be able to score all 33 marks in the attempted parts, I should not go and try to just let's say ki I am 50% or 30% or 40% sure of the next answer. So I should not mark it so that my negative marks increase and I fall below the 90 percentile level. Uh, so here again, the DI part was moderately easy, but on the moderate side, and there were 14 questions. There were 3 questions basically there were 3 sets of 6 questions, 4 questions, and 4 questions. And similarly in LR, there were 2 sets of 6 questions and 4 questions, which was on the difficult side again this year. As compared to 2018, the pattern was same. Uh, Now we will move ahead to our tips and strategies. So anyone who has any doubts regarding the CAT DILR section pattern, I will take it up and we'll wait for a couple of minutes to see if you guys have any doubts. You can post them and then we will start with our tips and strategies. So I guess as of now, we don't have any questions related to the CAT 2019 and 2020 pattern. So we will now be discussing about the tips and strategies that I followed. And I think if you guys try to follow a couple of them, even a couple of them, you might get a better score than what you are currently getting. So first, it is mandatory to practice at least 1 hour of DI and LR questions every day. Even if you are very good at it, then increase your difficulty level of the questions of the sets that you are doing. But it is mandatory from now till your exam happens, 1 hour every day of DI and LR questions. And trust me, you will be able to do at least 5 to 6 questions. Make sure they are not of the same pattern. So maybe initially what you can do is for the first 1 week, you do similar pattern questions from LR. Then for the second week, you do similar pattern questions from DI. Then in the third or fourth week, you start solving questions, some from DI, some from LR, right? So that way you will get a hold of it, what you have to do and when the questions are coming together. And you will not be used to just solving the LR questions in one stretch and then not able to do the DI part, or similarly vice versa. Then you guys, one thing that I made a mistake in my 2018 exam was I was not very well at reading the graphs and the data. And I am not talking about normal bar graphs or pie charts. So you guys should practice studying the line chart, studying the dotted charts, studying all the different types of charts that are there. So CAT actually does not give you a very simple chart. It's a bar graph and you just have to read and calculate, which is generally what happens in, let's say, IIFT. So in IIFT, if the calculations are very tough, the charts are very easy to understand. There are basically just, let's say, a pie chart, and then you have to do a lot of calculations. But what CAT tests you on is how easily you are able to understand the different types of charts. So if there are 4 questions, trust me, all 4 charts will be different. So make sure that you are able to study and understand different types of charts, right? So at least you can attempt those questions. Even if you are not able to solve all the 4 questions that are given in one set, you are at least able to solve 1 or 2 questions from that set. Next thing is definitely that I have asked all of you guys to do is give mock exams, especially for VARC and DILR. Sectional exams for these are very important. And it generally takes 30 to 45 minutes, depending on what type of online exams you are giving. So sectional exams, you can set the number of questions that you want, or what time you want to sit for a particular section. To make sure that even if you're sitting for 30 minutes, you're able to solve or attempt 4 or 5 sets. So even if you don't do all of them correctly, but you will be able to study those number of sets in that given time, right? So that will improve your speed and your level of understanding for the charts. So at least I would recommend that do 3 or 4 sectional DILR questions, mock tests every week, starting from this week onwards, if you guys have not started. And as I have mentioned earlier also, that one full mock every week is a must. Make sure your Sundays you are not doing anything. Even if you are working, I am sure that on Sundays you do get free time. Even if your college exams are there, you may skip that Sunday, but exams don't run for 14 or 15 or let's say 20 days, right? So one Sunday you can skip, but try to at least till September, make sure that you're able to do one complete mock and analyze that one complete mock that you have attempted every Sunday. If you're not able to do on Sunday morning, sit on a Sunday night or a Saturday night and do give a mock. If you are able to give more mocks, the more the better. And as I said, since October starts, so October and November is a time when you should go give as many mocks as possible, be it sectional, be it complete mock. Try to increase the number, because this is a time where your practice for sitting for an exam, let's say 3 hour, assuming it will be a 3 hour exam, will help you a lot during your final CAT exam. And towards the last 3 or 4 days, don't give any mocks. Just analyze a few mocks that you might have given in the recent past, or analyze or do or solve some fun LR questions, right? don't take a lot of stress if you're not able to solve those questions or something like that. So do questions that are very easy, right? One thing that I will recommend is similarly to as what I said for reading data and graphs, what I will also recommend, one thing is try to solve logical reasoning questions with more number of variables, right? Even though in 2019 the level of questions of LR were on the easiest side, but the number of variables in one set was on the higher side, right? So don't solve questions. You can start with solving questions of one variable, two variables, but definitely make sure that you're solving at least just one question every day of minimum four variables. So I'll give you an example. Let's say there's a round table conference going on, and couples are coming, and you have to arrange those couples, make them sit in the table. So the first variable here would be where they are sitting. Second would be who is sitting with whom. So I am on the left side, my wife is on the right side, yeah, my friend is on opposite side to me. So leaving one side. So that is the second variable. Now third variable would be what color t-shirt I am wearing, right? So is it pink? Is it white? Is it green? Is it red? So that is the third variable that I have added in the question. Fourth variable would be we all have ordered dishes. So is it Italian? Is it Mexican? Is it Indian? Is it continental? So these are, this is an example of a question which did come in CAT uh, in the recent, in the 2018 or 2019 CAT exam. I'm not very sure, but uh, these questions do come, and you need to get a hang of it on how to solve these questions faster. So obviously, if I would have gotten, let's say, 1 hour to sit with that question or 40 minutes to sit with that question, so I would be able to solve it. But I have spent 40 minutes on just one set, and I can see, yeah, there are at least 7 to 8 sets in the full exam. So I've wasted my 40 minutes on doing just one set. So that's why practice at least one question every day from LR, which has 3 to 4 variables. Uh, Another example would be, we had Euros recently, right? So similar, that there's a football tournament. So these countries are coming. They have their matches scheduled on these days. So which team is playing which against which team, which day they are playing on, how many goals they have scored, how many goals they have conceded. This is again an example that came from CAT. So again, there are 4 variables, and the difficulty level is very high, right? So make sure that you are solving at least one question of this much difficulty or even higher as the time comes nearby. So maybe by September or October, you are able to solve 5 variable questions. So that makes your job also easier when you're solving questions with 1 or 2 variables, right? Now coming to what you guys have to do during exam. This is one of the most important part. This is where I did a mistake in my 2018 exam. And this is where I did not make a mistake in my 2019 exam, right? 2018, I was able to solve just, I think 12 questions, which is just 3 sets. So I panicked, right? And my score came down to around 27 or 28 marks. And yet, when I saw my score, I was above 90 percentile. So that shows that the paper was so difficult that scoring 25 or 26 marks could get you a 90 percentile plus, right? So you should not panic at all during the exam, even if you are able to solve just 3 or 4 sets out of, let's say there are 8 sets and the number of questions are 32, right? So again, following the similar pattern, as I would say, first go through the entire section, mark the questions which are starting and ending and are from which part. So is it DI? So let's say DI questions are 1 to 4, LR are 5 to 8. Then again, it is LR 9 to 14. Then 15 to 19 are DI. So similarly, mark it and make sure you write what it is about. So obviously someone is comfortable about arrangement problems. someone is comfortable about tournament problems. So just someone is comfortable when reading a pie chart, while someone is comfortable when reading a bar graph. So make sure that you write it, which question is from which part, so that you can, once you have gone through your entire questionnaire paper, you can come back and you can solve those questions and go to those questions directly when you are starting to do your questions. Uh, so obviously that one, again, now coming to this, start with your strength areas. So let's say my strength part is LR. So I always started doing questions from LR first. I attempted all four questions from LR in my 2019 exam. I scored 60 marks, so which is equal to 20 questions done correctly. I attempted around 24 or 25 questions out of 32, and majority of those questions were from LR. There were some questions from DI. As I said, reading graphs was not a strong point of mine, so I always kept that part towards the end. So in the first 40 minutes, I went through the entire question paper. I did my LR in a very brief and very precise manner. I spent a whole lot of 35 minutes to just solving those questions and making sure that I've attempted at least, if not, I have gone through at least all four sets, which is 16 questions of LR. And then for the remaining 20 minutes, I chose whatever graphs I found were easier. Whatever data I found was easier to understand. I worked on those 2 or 3 sets. I left the last set or last 2 sets. I did not even attempt it. And so I did not feel bad about it, right? Because I knew that I checked in my first 5 minutes, I checked those questions. I knew that these are not my strong points. So even if I go and attempt those, it might take me longer than solving any other set. So I did not feel bad that I missed 4 questions because they were not of my strong area. But I was confident of what all questions I did, and that's why I scored a good marks. So I did around 25 questions, as I said. So I assume, so we can see that 21 questions were correct and 4 questions were wrong. So I scored 59 marks, right? So out of 25, I scored 21 questions, and I'm sure out of those, at least 15 questions or 14 questions were correctly done from the LR section. So it is your strategy, what you think is best for you. I can give you tips, but it is your strength areas and your weak areas where you have to concentrate and utilize those points during the exam, right? You don't have to worry about any other person that is sitting in the exam. What mistake I did was, as I said, I panicked when I did 12 questions, right? I could have attempted 4 or 5 more questions if I had not panicked. I was thinking ki yaar, just is it ki am I doing only 12 questions and rest all are doing 25, 26, 27 questions, right? Uh, so that is one very important thing, that never panic irrespective of how many questions that you do in the CAT exam. Right, guys. So now coming to the end of this, the strategies and tips that I could have shared with you. So now, whatever questions and doubts you guys have, you can post them and we will be taking them up, and let's see what all doubts you have, and I'll try to solve as many as I can. So guys, you can post your questions here and we will take them up. I'm not sure if I'm getting the questions because I can't see any of the chats here. So if you guys have any questions, do mention them in the comment box so we can take them up and we can solve your queries. So anything related to, since we are coming to the end of all the three sections, if you guys have any doubts regarding the DI and LR part or any other part as well from the CAT exam or anything regarding the CAT exam, you can ask and we will share we will try to resolve your queries and your doubts. So you can post them and we'll get back right now. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes and then I guess we will uh, just sign off. If you guys don't have any doubts, if you guys have doubts later on, you may post them and we'll take up with you. I don't think I'm getting any doubts, I feel. So if you guys don't have any doubts, I guess we can end the session today. And if you guys do have any queries in future, you may ask and pop up your questions to the GradeUp team, and we will get back to you on that. So thank you guys for tuning in and attending my session. I hope the three sessions I have we have discussed and we have spoken about and I have given you tips and strategies for. So you guys can use those in your mock exams and see if they are of any use and help to you. And I think you guys will be able to score a bit higher marks if you follow a couple of those strategies in all these sections. And I'm and wishing you guys the best of luck for your upcoming CAT exam. hope you guys do well. And if you guys have any queries, so you can pop your questions to the grade up team and we will get back to you in future. Thank you guys.